Mga kaibigan, isang magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Pasensyahan na ho yung background ko natin kasi yung skin coat ng bahay natin ay yung bahay kubo natin ay tatanggal na ho, no, mga kaibigan. We don't have enough money to repent, no. So mga kaibigan, we need to discuss this afternoon all about the things that we have. Especially, first of all, I would like to greet all my followers in different countries and different cultures and traditions in their life, mga kaibigan, no? Here on earth, especially Nick Soro at the family court, especially Kuya Jimboy, presiding judge of the family court, Honorable Judge Jimmy B. Boko, mga kaibigan, and also all the members of the staff of the family court, no, branch 2 of the RTC 11 here in Tagum City, mga kaibigan. Sir Cyril Sheriff, hindi mo siguro yan Sheriff, Hirip kasi lalaki po yun, and also very joke Sheriff, and also to Attorney Jeng, the clerk of court in branch 2 family court, mga kaibigan, and also all the staff, mga kaibigan, in family court. So now I would like to encode some lectures, no, mga kaibigan, especially tomorrow. Pagloloobin po ng Diyos ay tayo po'y pumunta doon sa prison facilities and the BGMP to discuss all these things in order to strengthen their character and the emotions of the inmates, mga kaibigan. Especially in the first Sabbath that I around on that facilities, mga kaibigan, and the BGMP, I discuss all about the three layers of the law, the Bible and the law of the land. That I would like to reiterate first, especially that the three layers of the Bible is consist for the moral law, as assured in the moral law, that is short applications, that it talk about the eternity, mga kaibigan, and also and second is called ceremonial law. It talk about for what do you call this sacrifices, fasting and worship, and many others out there. And also the third layer of the Bible is called what do you call this judicial or the civil law. It governs through the nation of Israel that was instructed by God to the Moses, mga kaibigan. At we come up to the in contrast or in connections to the law of the land here in the Philippines also, mga kaibigan. We refer that we are living here, that the three layers in the applications of the law here in the country, as the reading is concerned, we have also the felony, and we have the crime, and we have the infractions of law. The felony is defined as an act or omission punishable falling down by the revised penal code of the Philippines. Like say for example, you are committed a crimes against person, or you are killing somebody out there with the deliberate intent or the treachery or alibusia or all the present elements in order to be considered as the case of the murder. That is an example, mga kaibigan. And also we have also gitawag na to og crime. The crime also is defined into is an act or omission is punishable under by the special law of the country. What are those the special law of the country? We have also the Republic Act, Batasang Pambansa, Presidential Decree that was issued during martial law and Ferdinand Marcos Sr. And we have also a Commonwealth Act, the executive orders. Those are the example of what they call is this the example of the crime that like say for example you are committed for the sellings of drugs. and then you are undergo falling down by the violations of RE 9165 or the Republic Act, which is called a Dangerous Drugs Act of the country. And also, we have also the infractions of law. The infractions of law, mga kaibigan, is considered is an act or omissions falling down the violations through the barangay ordinance, city and municipal ordinance, provincial ordinance. Like say for example, the penalties is the fines, mga kaibigan. That is considerable. That is infractions of law that they called in the law as far as the books is concerned, mga kaibigan. That is all about the things that we are preparing now here in our slideshow or our PowerPoint that they are discussing. That is on June 27. We are the presence of our presence is already there in the BJMP. So that is all about, mga kaibigan. So nung time po na ako po'y pumunta doon, during the time that I also presence on that particular prison facilities in the country, I mentioned there to discuss towards the inmates in order to emphasize and to reiterate some of those the pillars of the Bible and the pillars of the criminal justice system in the Philippines, in which that is very important to categorize what is the pillars of the Bible and the pillars of the law or the criminal justice system here in the country. So that is why it's all about talks about the pillars of the Bible. We have also God, it reveals themselves as the creator of everything on this earth. Mga kaibigan, it creates all the living things and non-living things of this earth, mga kaibigan. So, thank you so much, Dance Tire. Sir, yes, sir. Yes. Good afternoon to you, sir. So, mga kaibigan, that is all about. The first pillar is God is revealing themselves that they are creator of the universe. They are the creator of everything. And the second is humanity. In order to reveal that the God is creator and they created human. They created humanity. So that is why that the God mentioned on the biblical terms, in the biblical patterns, that the very young age, the man will commit a crime. That is why the God will put written the law first before to commit crime. So that is why, mga kaibigan, humanity, there is a lot of study here on earth, but the existing of the violations, mga kaibigan, is already rooted in the Bible. It's already inserted in the Bible that we are called today, mga kaibigan. That the humanity is an evilos. That the humanity is to become a dangerous. There is a penalties, mga kaibigan. That is a second pillar of the Bible. The third pillar is Jesus Christ. Through Jesus Christ, mga kaibigan, we are about to be saved. We are about to be considered in order to be saved in ourselves, especially that we don't have right to save others, mga kaibigan. We do not like to talk that we are be proclaiming that we are to be saved because we are belongs to that particular religions on the earth. But the religions, mga kaibigan, is already a legions protected by the God in order to guide the humanity by the spiritual and the moral guidance. Mga kaibigan, that is all about the things that we have on this earth, mga kaibigan. Through Jesus Christ, mga kaibigan, He reveals us to be saved, not to be against the commandments of God. That is the third pillars. Fourth pillars, mga kaibigan, in the Bible that I am discussing, I am lecturing towards the inmates in the prison facilities in the BGMP of Tacom City, Davao del Norte, is the salvations. How to be acquired salvations, that everyone nothing to know this, mga kaibigan. There is nothing to be considered that is in ourselves, mga kaibigan, is holiness. Tayo pong lahat ay makakasala. Nagkakasala ng mga maraming pagkakasala pa, mga kaibigan. So that's why, mga kaibigan, the salvation, it reveals through Jesus Christ. It came up that the humanity is an evilos. That is why Jesus Christ came here on earth, mga kaibigan. That is why, mga kaibigan, before I am proposing the Filipino people in order to ask their pastors, the minister, and the press, and any preachers of the world, where is God nung hindi pa niya ginawa ang langit at saka lupa, mga kaibigan? Ang tanong nila, na daw sa langit. Ang tanong nila, na daw sa kawanangan. Kaya nga, wala pa na yung langit, wala pa yung lupa, saan ang Diyos? That is why, mga kaibigan, the five pillars is called the kingdoms of God. Saan tayo pupunta? Pag tayo po'y naisalba, tayo po'y naisave, mga kaibigan, tayo po'y pupunta sa tinatawag na everlasting life in the paradise of God. Okay, kaya na sinasabi ng iba, ay hindi yung totoo. No? Kasi yung mga tao ho ngayon ay naniniwala naman sa mga sinasabi ho ng iba. Kaya nga, in myself, I do not like to be agreed every preachers that I heard, mga kaibigan. I would like to research first, and this preaching are based on the Bible. Baka hindi po na nanggagaling sa Biblia yung mga sinasabi ng mga taong ganun. Kaya nga, the Bible is consists for 31,102 verses in the 66 books, and Protestant Bible in 1,189 chapter, mga kaibigan. So that is why we don't have right to know everything, to memorize all the holiness of God, the whole creations of God, mga kaibigan. Yes, Sir Wawa, I would like to greet all the members of the Davao Norte Provincial Mobile Force Company, mga kaibigan, which is my mother unit before, mga kaibigan, and also in behalf of our handsome, mga kaibigan, Ambungan, mga kaibigan, Otokan, very knowledgeable, mga kaibigan, approachable, no other than in our provincial director, in the name of Glenn Gokong Christine, sir. Thank you so much for being a father of the Davao Norte Provincial Police Office. And also in our father of the Regional 11, and in the name of Police Brigadier General Rositi, sir. So thank you so much, and all the members of the PNP officer, as a law enforcement officer of the country, to delivering, contributing for the goodness and the loyalty and the faithfulness of and honest to the constitutions of the country, that we are all unique in order to serve the country, not only for the country, but it is for the benefits of the law and the benefits of the people, mga kaibigan. So thank you so much on that, mga kaibigan, and all the OFW is considered a hero of the country and around the world, mga kaibigan. So we come up to this the third, mga kaibigan. So in contrast or in connections to the Bible, mga kaibigan, the country here in the Philippines also, mga kaibigan, we have also the five pillars of the criminal justice system here in the Philippines. We have also what do you call this? Prosecution. The first is law enforcement. The second is prosecution pillar. The court, which is the third. And the fourth is corrections. And the fifth is our community. If ever the persons was committed a crime, and also napailan ng kaso or nadakip ng ating kapulisan, that is considered under by the yung mga tao hong under for PUPC or police under police custody. So mga kaibigan, mayroon tayong tinatawag na ganun, no? So those are the people, mga kaibigan, na they are arrested by the police officer. Nasa station po yon for inquest proceeding that is called in the prosecution. If the prosecutions will evaluate the evidence that they are elevated to the court, kung pwede ba siya ma-file dito sa korte na. So kagaya ng mga sinasabi ng iba, yung mga nagtatanong hindi po automatic pag nadakip ka ng pulis, diretso ka na sa korte. No, we have a procedure, we have a justice system pillar which is called the law enforcement, prosecution, court, correction, and community. Isa-isahin na to, tamban-tamban nun. Nadakpan sa pulis or arrested by the police, mga kaibigan, so i-prosecute pa yan, dadaan pa yan, and will be brought to the prosecution for the inquest proceeding, and the fiscal will evaluate for the evidences presented by the police, mga kaibigan. And if the prosecution or the fiscal will evaluate the truthfulness of the affidavit, the filing of this violation is pwede i-elevate through the court, and then kasi nakahanap sila ng before is called a probable cause, but right now we have a highest form of identifications of the weighted of an evaluation of an evidence with a certainty of conviction of the certain individuals. So that is why, mga kaibigan, ay dadalhin na yan sa korte. And the court, titimbangin niya, kaya magtatawag yung tinatawag nating court hearing in order to hear both sides, and the presiding judge of the different court of the Philippines will decide fairness and impartial decision of the case. Kaya wag natin sabihin, may mga taong mga patok sa buho talaga na pibor-pibor na yung mga judges. No! We have no right to say about that, mga kaibigan, because the judge will decision based on law, not based on their interest, not based on their own. But they are the fairness and impartial based by the law in order to decision that particular cases. That is why there is no final execution. Yung fix in execution, pag yun ang decision, yun na yun. Hindi ka na pwedeng mag-motion pa, hindi ka na pwede pang umapila, pumunta sa mga higher court of the land. Kaya gaya na, kung, like say for example, kung totoo na talaga, hindi na yan pupunta sa korte. Kung na-evaluate na ng prosecution or na-evaluate na ng police. Kaya may staging tayo. May ladder rise of tayo sa judgment po natin. Kaya yung tinatawag in court, the presiding judge will evaluate and to weight the evidence in order to hear both sides, mga kaibigan, together with the accused and the victim. So that is why, mga kaibigan, no? Kagaya ng sinasabi ho ng iba, kasi maling-mali po yon, we have the criminal justice system pillars. Yan po ang dapat natin maiintindihan sa buhay ho natin. Bilang isang civilian, kahit civilian ho tayo, marunong rin tayong makinig. Kagaya ng mga sinasabi, pag may hindi ko nalalaman, kagaya sinasabi ko, yan po ay nasa batas. Pag mayroong nagsasabi, anong batas? Kaya nga sinasabi ko nasa batas. Kasi pag sinasabi pong nasa batas, that is already that you are committing yourselves na hindi mo alam yun. Nasa batas nga eh. Magtanong tayo kung anong batas doon sa may alam sa batas. Sino ba yung may alam sa batas? Yung mga judges ho natin, yung mga fiscal ho natin, yung mga nag-aaral ng batas ho natin, at yung mga attorney ho natin, yung mga lawyer, mga kaibigan. Kagaya ng sinasabi ko, I do not like to be pretend that I am knowledgeable, I am a lot of knowledge about this, because I am not expert, mga kaibigan. Kagaya naman sinasabi ng iba, mali-mali po yun. Kagaya na, mga kaibigan, that is a third pillar. So, if there is a verdict made by the court, so mag-servisyo na ang accused, the sentence, mga kaibigan. So, pupunta na yan sa tinatawag nating prison facilities. Di ba? sa correctional. Pagkatapos doon, they are complied, mga kaibigan, in connection sa kanyang nagawang kasalanan, babalik siya sa community. Kagaya ng sinasabi ko, law enforcement, prosecution, court, correction, and community. What the law says, pag natapos na po yung tatanggapin ho ang taong ito that they are fully transformed. Gimanduan, unsay gimanduan dia? Ang mga religious leaders, mga religious mga groups, mga kaibigan. So that is why, kagaya ng mga sinasabi ho ng ibang, mali-mali po yun. Magbasa lang ho tayo for the sake of our own knowledge. Even we do not like to share with others. Especially, that is our strength, mga kaibigan. So thank you so much po kay Sir Bolivar, sir. Kanina ho nakita ko kami ng ating mga classmates, sir. So I greet all of them for the 10 years anniversary of the batch 2016 Kasangga, mga kaibigan. So nakikita-kita ho kami ng mga classmates natin na doon kanina sa Davao Norte Sport Complex doon sa Ubal, kasi we are in the PFT, no, mga kaibigan, as the month of July and August. So nakita ko po si Ma'am Umandak, which is my classmate, are enrolling or now a first year law student in the St. Mary's Tagum, and many others, mga kaibigan. But I'm very proud. I am so glad that my classmates Ambrosio and Gabuyo will take the bar exam this coming. Our classmate, sir, will take a bar exam this coming September, no? So I hoping so much. I'm praying all of them to pass the bar exam. That is the very proud in our batch that we have an officials and we have a lawyer. Someday there is a lot of lawyers in our classmate here in Regional 11 or Davao Region Police Office, mga kaibigan. So I am so proud on that, sir, no, mga kaibigan. Yes, niuli ko dayon because I preparing for my task tomorrow, sir, which is to discuss all, to guide our emotional inmates in the prison facility, sir. So I have a task over there to lecture, no. I am just preparing here, kaya gaya ng sinasabi ko po, I am just preparing for the 28 fundamental beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, mga kaibigan. I am going to tomorrow in BJMP prison facilities, mga kaibigan, here in Tagum City, in order to uplift, in order to boost the heart of our inmates, sir. So that is most very important, and that is my dream, because that is not easy that they are put it on that four corners of life, mga kaibigan. No, wala ko silang ibang makikita doon. So that is why I'm very, very proud of all my classmates are enrolling in law, and also those people, my classmates also are now this coming September 2026 taking their bar exam. So I hoping so much on that, mga kaibigan, because the higher provisions on earth is the lawyer, no, mga kaibigan. That is not easy. That is why all those people are dreaming to become a lawyer. Just prepare yourselves, because I do not like to think to become a lawyer, no, mga kaibigan, because I evaluate myself that I am not capable on that particular matter. If the God will provide, I accept it, but in my own, I do not like to pursue that kinds of that I am dreaming that I am waking up, mga kaibigan. I do not like with that. So that is why Gaya naman sinasabi ho ni Junjun, which is the brother of Honorable Judge Boko. No? John, hindi ko na yan pinapangarap kasi binigay na ho ng Diyos ang pinapangarap ko pong mga pagsasakripisyo sa buhay. So that is why we proceed all the topics that we have here. Mga kaibigan, I preparing for the 28th fundamental beliefs of the SDE Church, mga kaibigan, with the supervisions here in Tagum City, no? Tagum Central SDE Church. They are by in the name of our pastor GB Bonay and our elder president, which is presiding judge of Branch 2 Family Court, Honorable Judge Jimmy Bustillo Boko. Yeah. So thank you so much, mga kaibigan. That the first 5 that I discussed for this tomorrow in the prison facility, sir, is all about the 28 fundamental beliefs, which is the first 5, yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That the 28 fundamental beliefs of the SDE Church is considerable as the strength of the religion, the SDE, mga kaibigan. So, we have also to believe in the Holy Scriptures, the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, I discuss all this, mga kaibigan, that the Bible, there is a prison facilities also, or the biblical prison. So, all those people they do not know about the biblical prison under of the Bible. We have also idongyon. We have idongyon, or yung tinatawag nating dungawan. The dongyon is considered as a biblical prison, mga kaibigan, which is called, that is an underground, or the dongyon. The keywords of this, mga kaibigan, is Jeremiah chapter 37 verse 16 and Lamentations chapter 3 verse 53 to 54. The dongyon, mga kaibigan, was underground prison, usually a dark, damp, and poorly ventilated prison facilities that they are putted or rooted in the Bible. It is considerable that the prophet Jeremiah was confined in such place because of faithfully proclaimed by God, mga kaibigan. So, they are faithfully proclaimed the message of God. That is why prophet Jeremiah was placed on these types of prison facilities, which is put it in the Bible. In such a way, mga kaibigan, dongyons is open and symbolized to be extreme, mga kaibigan, the misery, isolations, and hopelessness, mga kaibigan. Hopeless po ang mga taong nandito. Yet even it is a very dark, mga kaibigan, prophet Jeremiah, mga kaibigan, is continued to trust with God, mga kaibigan, that they are demonstrating that the God presence is reaches over there, mga kaibigan, that His servant is even the deepest of suffering. So that is why prophet Jeremiah, instead to be malulumural siya, kumakapit po siya sa Diyos, mga kaibigan. They are truthfully asking and praying to God itself, mga kaibigan. So the second, mga kaibigan, it's called prison house. The prison house, mga kaibigan, we have also the key verse here is Genesis chapter 39 verse 20 to 23 and Isaiah chapter 42 verse 7, mga kaibigan. That is a biblical prison facilities under of the Bible. So, mga kaibigan, that the prison house was an ordinary place of confinement for those awaiting trial, mga kaibigan. So, those people are serving imprisonment. So, mayroon dito na nailagay si Joseph was placed in this prison facilities or the prison house, mga kaibigan, mentioned in the Bible that after being falsely accused, mga kaibigan, by Potiphar's wife, mga kaibigan, which is the king of which is the king of, what do you call is this? The king of, in the Egypt, mga kaibigan, that despite for the injustice, mga kaibigan, that Joseph was placed in the prison house, the Joseph, mga kaibigan, they are continued to pray God, mga kaibigan, in favor for the prison keeper, mga kaibigan. So, the servant would be open the prison doors and release those captives, mga kaibigan. So, we are here, inner prison. Ito, matitindi ito, mga kaibigan. Inner prison, mga kaibigan, in reference or the key verse here is our Acts chapter 16, verse 24 to 26. That the inner prison, mga kaibigan, was mostly part of the jail, that they are reserved for those prisoners considered as dangerous. Yung mga dangerous, so, mga kaibigan, in our prison facilities, makikita yun natin dito sa Pilipinas. Mayroon tayong tatlo dito: minimum security, maximum security, and medium security, mga kaibigan. So that is why, mga kaibigan, ang na-preso diri or the confinement of the two, which is in the name of Paul and Silas, was placed on this prison facilities, mga kaibigan. So that is why, mga kaibigan, there is not only in the Philippines, there is 8 types of classification of the prison facilities, or the biblical is in connections to the human prison penal farm, mga kaibigan. So that the fourth is considered the guardhouse or the prytonium. The key verse here, mga kaibigan, is Acts chapter 23 verse 35 and the Philippians chapter 1 verse 13. That the Roman guardhouse, mga kaibigan, ito, mga gwardyado kayo sila sa tinatawag nating itong mga military custody. So, Paul was kept under the Roman protections for awaiting their trial. So, that is why, that is our number 4. And we proceed for the number 5. We have also the stocks is considered also yung mga naibangag ang kahoy, iana imong liog, no? So, until hiktan o kanina. So, naapo ni siya sa mga stock where wooden restraint to immobilize prisoner. Immobilize, mga kaibigan. So, the hands and iyang tiil o ang iyang liog. So, Prophet Jeremiah also was placed here, mga kaibigan, in the stocks, mga kaibigan. That Prophet Jeremiah suffered in stock because of pitfully warned by Judah and Paul and Silas. Di ba? Yan ho, mga kaibigan. And also, we have also number 6 is pit or cistern. That the prophet Jeremiah also was placed here, mga kaibigan. The key verse here is Jeremiah chapter 38 verse 6 and Genesis chapter 37 verse 24, mga kaibigan. A pit or an empty cistern was sometimes used to improvise a prison, mga kaibigan. Naani siya lapok, no? Mura kang ihulog. Nanaypisi, ihulog ka, daghan og lapok. Daghan lapok. That the prophet Jeremiah was placed here, mga kaibigan, or the Joseph brothers threw him into the pit before selling him into slavery. While Jeremiah was lowered into a magic cistern. Nailungag ba na daghang lapok, no? So, inana na siya, mga kaibigan. And also, mga kaibigan, number 7, we have also a prison cell. Now, ito po ay makikita, the key verse of this is Acts chapter 12, verse 4 to 10, mga kaibigan. Although individual cells are not described in detail. But Peter was held under heavy guard while awaiting execution. So, underneath sa prison cell. So, try to look at what is, it is the event, or this is an event demonstrated that no prison door or the human security can prevent the God's will from being accomplished. Gaya ng mga sinasabi ho natin. So, number 8, mga kaibigan, we have also a James and Peter's, that the givers here is Psalm chapter 105 verse 18 and Acts chapter 12 verse 6 to 7. James and Peter's were physically restrained used to secure a prisoner. So, it is a very stronger, mga kaibigan, in restraining to our prisoner that the Joseph, mga kaibigan, was placed in this, mga kaibigan, in Egypt, and also Peter. So, yung mga nakatali sa yung paa mo at kamay mo, may dalawang tali na kadina at nakatali yan sa tinatawag nating army. No, parang ganun, mga kaibigan. So, we will proceed to our Philippine prison and penal farm. We have also 8, mga kaibigan. We have also New Bilibid Prison, Correctional Institution for Women, Mandaluyong City, Luzon. We have also Correctional Institution for Women, Mindanao, located in Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte. And we have also a Davao Prison and Penal Farm, located mainly in Santo Tomas and Carmen Municipality of Davao del Norte. And we have also, mga kaibigan, Iwahe. We have also a Sablayan, mga kaibigan. We have also a San Ramon San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm. We have also, mga kaibigan, in yung Leyte, no? Those are our penal prison and penal farm here in the country. So here, mga kaibigan, New Bilibid Prison, mga kaibigan, that is the legal basis that is mga kaibigan, is NBP Act number 3984, approved on December 3, 1932, that authorized the creation of the modern National Penitentiary outside City of Manila. So, the New Bilibid Prison, mga kaibigan, is located in Muntinlupa, Metro Manila. It is a principal national penitentiary and one of the largest correctional facilities in the Philippines. It accommodates for the persons deprived of liberty with a different security classification, including maximum, minimum, and inmates, mga kaibigan. NBP also serve as a major center for prison rehabilitation program, livelihood activities, education, and religious service, and the healthcare. So we have also here, mga kaibigan, our Correctional Institution for Women, or CIW, in Mandaluyong. Correctional Institutions for Women is located in Mandaluyong City, which is our principal of all correctional, or the CIW. It is the main national correctional facility of the women in the Philippines, or the CIW provides a custody, counseling, spiritual programs, mga kaibigan, and also the livelihood opportunity and programs, and also for those women with the deprived of liberty. And its purpose, it is not only to enforce the sentence of those violators, of those women, but Also, it helped to the women prepared for the responsible reintegrations into the families and the communities. The legal basis for the CIW, mga kaibigan, establishing the correctional institutions for women is the Republic Act 3579 or November 1929. And also we have also here formerly February 14, 1931, the former women prison was renamed to the CIW. So we have also here, mga kaibigan, correctional institution for women or the CIW located in Santo Tomas or in Mindanao, located in Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte. The correctional institution for women Mindanao is located the reservations area of the land in the Davao del Norte and the penal farm in Santo Tomas, mga kaibigan. It is established to address the needs of the women inmates for Mindanao. It serves as an extension of the main CIW or the Correctional Institution for Women in Mandaluyong City. Mga kaibigan, the facilities it provide more accessible locations for women deprived of liberty, whose the family live in the Mindanao, helping to maintain family contacts and to support during rehabilitation. So, the main legal basis of this, mga kaibigan, is Republic Act 10575 and the Bureau Corrections Act of 2013 to modernize and restricted Bucor mandate safety keep form and rehabilitate persons in the CIW of Davao del Norte. So we have also in number 4, mga kaibigan. Number 4 is our Davao Prison and the Penal Farm or DPPF. Mga kaibigan, PPF is Davao Prison and Penal Farm is located mainly in Santo Tomas, mga kaibigan, and the Carmen Municipality of Davao del Norte. It is one of the largest Bucor institution in terms of land area. The Davao Prison and Penal Farm, mga kaibigan, is also known for an agricultural production, livestock, raising and farming and livelihood projects, mga kaibigan. The legal basis is of the Davao Penal Colony is Act number 3732 on January 21, 1932 and proclaimed number 414 on October 7, 1931. So, mga kaibigan, number 5, malapit na ho tayo matapos. Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm. The Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm, mga kaibigan, is located in Puerto Princesa City, Palawan. It is the prison facilities without wall. Wala si wall. It is an open colony approach for the qualified minimum security inmates. It is rather than being confined a traditional prison building, mga kaibigan, some inmates may live and work designated areas under the supervision. And also to provide for the agricultural works, fishing, farming, and handicrafts and community-based livelihood program are important parts of the rehabilitation system. The legal basis, mga kaibigan, is Executive Order number 67, series of October or on October 15, 1912, establishing Iwahig Penal Colony in Palawan. Later, an Act 3732, November 21, 1930, and Republic Act 3682 on June 22, 1963. So, we have also in number 6, mga kaibigan. Our number 6, mga kaibigan, is considerable one of the our penal prison here in the country, mga kaibigan, that considered our number 6 is Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm, mga kaibigan. That is Sablayan, located in Sablayan, Occidental Mindoro. It is a largest prison correctional facilities with the extensive of the land use for agricultural land. These institutions, mga kaibigan, it's provide also a custody and rehabilitations for the inmates while encouraging productive work, discipline, and skills development. It is considerable for the agricultural program. Mga kaibigan, it helps to the inmates to be prepared for the employment and local community life after his release. The legal basis of the sablayan, mga kaibigan, is Presidential Decree number 72 series of 1954. On September 26, 1954, the Commonwealth Act, mga kaibigan, number 141 and Section 383, Act number 3732 of 1930 to this covered by Republic Act 10575. Mga kaibigan. And also, mga kaibigan, we have a San Ramon. San Ramon Penal Prison and Penal Farm was located in Zamboanga City. Mga kaibigan, also known as the oldest penal facilities in the country. That the legal basis here is 1407, Act 1407, also called Recognition Act of 1905 on November 1, 1905, Act number 2538 on November 9, 1915, and Act number 3732 on November 21, 1930. That the sablayan, mga kaibigan, penal farm or the penal facilities in the Philippines is all these institutions in the Philippines established during the Spaniards or during the Spanish colonialism, mga kaibigan, in the period of 1869. Historically and politically prisoner and person with accused for the rebellion was placed here and confined here. Today is a functions as a bucor, mga kaibigan, to emphasize the agricultural work, rehabilitation system, and discipline and education and skills training for the person deprived of their liberties, mga kaibigan. We have also in number 8, which is called a Leyte Regional Prison or LRP. The Leyte, mga kaibigan, or LRP prison, mga kaibigan, is located in Abuyog, Leyte, mga kaibigan. It serves to the inmates from the Eastern Visayas regions and nearby areas. And the legal basis to establish for this, mga kaibigan, LRP is a Presidential Decree number 28 on 1972. Mga kaibigan, issued during martial law as a regional prison under the Bureau of Corrections located in Abuyog, Southern Leyte in Visayas. So, mga kaibigan, it's all about, it helps to reduce the needs of the transfer of all qualified inmates to Luzon or Mindanao, that the prison provides the custody and rehabilitations and vocational training, skills, religious activities, and other programs intended for the reintegrations into the society of all inmates was placed here. So thank you so much, mga kaibigan.